You asked me a question the other day. Do you recall the question? Sorry to put you on the spot.
It was somehow the gist of, hey, wrestling just won their national championship. Hockey's playing for a national championship, basically. What would be the next team, next Penn State team beyond those two to play for a national championship?
To
Is that it?
play for the national championship.
What did I write? What did I text?
Well, that's what I was just trying to find it, but now I can't find it.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Or have the opportunity to be in a position to play, if we want to parse it. I guess what I was.
You said wrestling and now hockey ? For a future show topic. Which Penn State team will be the next to win a national championship?
Okay, I guess I went that far. Okay.
I think this is a good question. I thought about this. I think
can't be wrestling.
I was going to say we got to put that parameter on. That's too easy.
No wrestling
easy.
Next season.
That's the easiest, obvious one. I'm not going to sit here and give you my detailed breadth of knowledge of every Penn State sports team, because I don't know that I could do that. I think, that being said, I think there's a likely candidates. I think volleyball might be still one of them. Again, doing that again, but that for as dynastic as that was in the 2000s, like that kind of feels wrestling-ish. I think hockey has a real shot, but I think that's probably. I think they can reach the Frozen Four again next season, particularly if the roster kind of holds up and the goaltending situation is ironed out. The one that I kind of keep coming back to, though, is Penn State men's lacrosse. And maybe that's the one that I want to win. And I think I said this today, and I've said this thousands of times now. There are two teams that really got screwed over by the success they were having in 2020. Penn State men's hockey and Penn State men's lacrosse. They took hits. And Penn State men's lacrosse now, what was that? Was that last season? 2 seasons ago, are a controversial goal away from going to the national championship. So I think that's my go-to answer for right now. And I don't think baseball, I just want to see them make a tournament. I don't. Women's soccer is the only other one that they are always good enough to be in the equation. And I mean, they went to the College Cup this year, and into the national semifinal. So they're always kind of sniffing around. But it just feels like of the teams that are most due, Penn State men's lacrosse is the most due.
I think that's a good answer. I mean, I threw it out there, something we could talk about, and then really didn't think about it because I didn't think we,
you tend to do that.
Men's lacrosse would be on my short list, right? Obviously, it's not basketball, it's not women's basketball. Not to be dismissive of football, it's probably not them next season. Women's volleyball could be tough again. I don't think I have as much confidence in them repeating as I do wrestling, as if that anybody would have that expectation of them. My team won a national championship; they're going to repeat next year. But maybe I would say women's soccer, just because they're always right there.
Right.
If you think about fall sports and what could be in a position to do something next, like just thinking calendar year, academic year. I think I'll say women's soccer, just so it's different. But men's lacrosse wouldn't surprise me. In terms of boiling down the team, those are the teams that could next, beyond the ones that just won this year, who you kind of sort of expect to be back. Yeah, I think women's soccer. Who else I'd even have on that list?
So would you put
fencing maybe, but the fencing's not that. I don't think they're as good as they used to be, right? That kind of stuff. So
again, that's the sport that I have a blind spot on.
Not women's hockey. Maybe that's the other one that would be there. Might be.
I'm glad you brought this up, and I was thinking about this actually, and they remind me a lot of Penn State men's volleyball, in the sense that, this year they're trying to win the conference. For umpteen years, they've won the EIVA, right? They've hosted and win the EIVA, and then they go to the tournament. And some years they do a little bit of damage, and then some years they don't. And then other year they've won 2 national championships, 1, 2, can't remember, off the top of my head. And I kind of get the same vibe of that from where the women's hockey team is positioned. But I think they could they also put themselves in the best possible position. I don't know if they necessarily can put themselves best possible position to maximize the success, I guess would be the
That's
best
fair.
way to
I mean, and honestly, men's volleyball would kind of be on my list. I mean, I saw them play this year at Grand Canyon and have kind of followed a little bit. They've gotten better because at Grand Canyon they were just making unforced errors, and they were an athlete away. Like Grand Canyon had a big kid who was really good, plus Penn State was making mistakes. And I don't know what's going to happen with those kind of sports in the next couple of years either, right? In terms of availability of players or who's going to invest more or not in certain places. Like it feels at a place like Penn State with 31 sports, that could be a sport that we might not invest in as much and might be happy to have. And I don't know if the window will close, but I don't feel that they're that far away. If something, one more right player next season, I'm like, oh, there they are.
Well, and I mean,
contenders again.
You look at Max Holt, Matt Anderson, like that's what they were with those teams. Is like they were a player. Oh, those were the players that put them in. I mean, those guys have been on every Olympic team. And
it's not like there's 100 volleyball teams. There's 25 or 30 volleyball teams.
Right.
So to get there to the top, you don't have to fight over don't have to call over as many teams.
I guess the team that I did kind of accidentally remove, because I think we've been talking so much about the Olympic sports, is football. I would put football second on my list just for the expectations of next season. But I can also understand your argument of like putting them in third place. And I think they're the one that I want to win the national championship the most, though, as well.
And they're the one that would make the most difference for the athletic program if they win the national championship, right? Like it'd be a game, reestablishment of what they are, all those kinds of things.
Yeah. No. Okay. That's good. That's a good question.